In the first video, we just saw how important definitions are. And I explained why, but another reason is probably this one, to avoid confusion between words that look the same, but they are completely different. In lectures 2, I believe, we made a clear distinction between innovation and creativity. It was a first example, but it should be done everywhere. Some more examples. So, danger is not a risk. Both belong to this uncertain challenge, but a risk is not a danger. Comfort is not luxury. Yes, in a way they share similar things, but there is a difference. There is a difference. And we have to use the words to avoid confusion. One of the best examples I have for this one is ethics versus morality. And this opens a new world because somehow philosophy is made of two large pieces. One is the art of thinking, and 95%, maybe 98% of this MOOC is built on this one. But the other great area of philosophy is the art of living, And that's another world. It's maybe another MOOC. That's definitely different. This difference between ethics and morality will probably be a good entrance to this other part of philosophy, the art of living. But before emphasizing the difference between the two, let's go back to assessment. How do we assess things where there is no numbers or figures? Philosophy has no numbers, but we want to achieve rigor. So how can we assess what we do? And my experience in business is very often people take decisions in fields, areas where you don't have any number. We should have a better corporate image. We should be closer to the client. We should build a better, work more as a team. All those wishes are important, but if they don't go along with the criteria to assess, I doubt of the efficiency. An idea to be efficient should be accompanied by a criteria to assess the evolution of the idea. For example, the corporate image. Okay, we need a better corporate image. Everybody will say, yes, fine. But you're in danger of wishful thinking. The only way to escape the wishful thinking is to propose a criteria together. Okay, 1 year, 2 years from now, this is the way we're gonna assess if we are better in this particular field, the corporate image. The use of criteria is one of the main tools of a philosopher, and probably the most famous of all is called the golden rule. The golden rule is don't do to others what you don't want others to do to you. This kind of rule can be found in many different cultures. But it's a criteria between what can be done and what cannot be done. It's a good example. So if we go back to ethics and morality, there are ways to be more professional in using the two words, because ethics, everywhere you read about ethics of the corporate world, etc. So again, not a definition this time, but let's try to dig a bit to differentiate the two sides of this morality ethics axis. Probably a good way is to start in the past. So if you look at history, the beginning of ethics and the beginning of morality are completely different. But maybe let's go back to etymology. Ethics and morality both means behavior. but in two different cultures. Behaviors in the Greece at that time, was called ethos, the way you behave. In Rome, the Latin Empire, people talked about mores. So the same thing, behavior, can be translated on a Greek way with ethos and goes to ethics, or in Latin way and gives birth to morality. So you see, already it's a big difference. And it's not a coincidence, because the way Greece was organized had nothing to do with the way Rome was organized. And Greece was not a chaos, but the first attempt of democracy. It was not the anarchy, but really a lot of chaos and turmoil. Latin was like this. Rome was ruled by a general, it was more an army. And so you see the two different worlds. So, of course, ethics and morality have their main philosopher. Kant, on the morality side, say what you can do, what you cannot do. Others have studied on the ethical side the difference between what right versus wrong. Morality is more to differentiate good and bad. You see the difference. And not a surprise, because in Greece, the behavior was like spontaneous, come from the bottom. In the morality side, in Rome, came much from the top. You do this, you don't do that. There is more difference, like ethics is based on values. That's why I gave a definition just now of what's a value, because ethics are based on values. And values, I just repeat myself, i.e. we think something should. So there is no absolute value, so there is no absolute ethics. Morality based on principles, rules, laws. And this is a way to connect to the MOOC. Remember the lecture number 2 when I made such a clear distinction between induction and deduction. We are back to that. In a way, morality is deduced from laws. The rules, the laws, you deduce, I can do this, I cannot. Ethics is more induced. And that's not a coincidence. In philosophy, everything is connected to everything. So let's go a bit further. And of course, it's like an immediate consequence of the situation. Ethics is valid here and now. I'm facing a problem. I do this, and morality is more absolute. It's for everybody, and it is probably everywhere. So ethics is mostly a personal affair. It's you in front of situation. Okay, you with you. Morality is you with the community you belong to. And the last thing maybe about the two differences, in terms of logic, there is a big difference between the two. Morality first is consistent, like deduction. There is a logical chain of cause and effects. Ethics is mostly in contradiction. You do something which is officially, etc., but ethics is mostly a human challenge. Morality is more a society challenge.